Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our terrific Tuesday presentation of Melt Method, Hand and Foot Workshop with Lois Heitner. She is going to be doing a wonderful presentation on fascia for us based on a question that was asked in a previous session. So before we go into our melting, we are going to get some knowledge about fascia. So I invite Lois to enlighten us.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so we're going to geek out a little bit just because of a question that was asked of what is this fluid? So in order to understand the fluid, we need to understand the fascia. So I did a little research back into my training manual, which is always a good thing to do. And I made a presentation, which is available to you if you want it. Just let Z know and she'll email it to you. So when I keep talking about the fascia when we're melting, because we are working on the fascia. So let's just do a little review of what it is. So it's the body wrap. It's the connective tissue, but it's actually a colloid. So, a colloid is kind of like a jello. So it's not solid and it's not liquid. It's movable. And it's composed of both solid microscopic materials suspended in a fluid. Now this fascia covers every organ, muscles, bones, organs, vessels, even the blood vessels, the lymph glands, every single thing. I put ... because there's more than I could even write out. And it helps to, and this is the important things, support, protect, and stabilize our body. Now it's interconnective and helps us with the movement to regulate our body systems. So here is my model of what fascia would be. So it's connected of these little, it's got little connective tissue in there. And then when it's dehydrated, it's kind of like this. And as it becomes hydrated, it opens up. And that's why very often you feel that your feet will feel like puffier, because actually what is happening is we're moving the fluid into this fascia. Now, we'll talk about the functions of the fascia. So the fascia it's not stretchable like a muscle, but it's kind of has some flexibility like the skin. So let's talk about how we do. And the first thing is I wanted to talk about hydration, because people say, what is this fluid you keep talking about? So now hydration is a normal part of aging. And you may notice when you wake up, I notice when I wake up, I'm stiff. And it's the dehydration, because we're 8 hours without any hydration, and we're also not moving. Not moving also will cause your fascia to start to dehydrate and become stiffer. So it becomes inflexible, it becomes stiff, it becomes dried out. And when it's dried out, we have these things called adhesions. And when we do our glides, very often I say, these little spots that you come in, these little knots? Well, those are adhesions. Just as, I don't know how to explain this, but where it knots up instead of being nice and smooth. Actually, a muscle can kind of do that too, and get a knot. Okay, so when it's dehydrated, it's less supportive, and there's less supportive integrity, how it holds you up, responsiveness, and connection. Responsiveness, again, how it's moving with you. Now we're getting a little technical here. So this connective tissue, extracellular matrix. So that's what, now instead of saying, I'm going to say ECM for the fascial system, because it's a system. It consists of connective tissue cells. Now, fibroblasts think of it with the word blasts, is the building cells of the body. And these little cells produce different things in the body, like they produce the fibers, but fibroblast is also the same word for the bone building cells too. So fibroblasts produce the fibers produced by the fibroblasts produce the fibers, and most of our fascia is made of collagen, and we've heard of collagen because, you know, for the face, and other proteins. Now, the macrovacuoles are the itsy bitsy things that hold the space and the fluid. Mostly the fluid. Let's talk about the fluid. The fluid transports the oxygen, nutrients, and waste between every cell in your body. The same way the blood is, but it's not blood. The blood's in the vessels. This fluid is in your fascial tissues, which is on your entire body. 70 to 80% of the fascia is fluid. Is this fluid with all these little cool things in it. Now, what are the cool things in the fascia, in the fluid? Polysaccharides. And those are the things that maintain the space between the collagen fibers, and they bind with the protein molecules to attract the water molecules to the EMC. EMC now is the whole fascial system. Hydraulic acid. And what does that do? It lubricates, absorbs the shock and the vibration, like little tiny shock absorbers. And fibroblasts, again, we're talking about the blast, the bone building, is that it produces, the fibroblast, again, is the cell that produces different elements. All right, so that's what the fluid is. All these little things floating around that help to keep this this EMC system viable. Now, the other things that the fascia does is it communicates, and it communicates with whatever it's around. So if the fascial system is around the muscle, it communicates with the muscle, the bone, whatever it is around. It's alive and reactive. Now, it also communicates with the brain. Proprioceptors are sense movements and position, and these are found in all the nerve endings. The proprioceptors decline as we age, and there's mechanoreceptors. It's vibrational information to the brain. Actually, today I was just going to do the hydration for today, and maybe I'll do because it's 9:10. I can talk about the rest of it. I think we just could talk about the hydration today so we can get started. Does that sound like a good idea, or would you like me to finish? Raise your hands, tell me what you'd like.
Thumbs up if you want her to continue.
Okay, let me just continue then. But the hydration was what answering the question. Okay, so this fascial system communicates with our brain, but it's kind of like autonomic, so we aren't aware of it. Just like our certain muscles go with our brain, the muscles in your heart and your lungs. Okay, so the proprioceptors are the things that tell you where you are in space. They sense the movement and position found in all the nerve endings. And this, of course, declines as we age also. The mechanoreceptors, vibrational information to the brain, sensing like where we are. You know, when we stand up and we close our eyes and we see how we can adjust. And the thing is, when you have too much pressure on your joints, your bones, your skins, your muscles, and organs, it brings a message to your brain saying, uh-oh, and you have pain. And if it continues to be dehydrated, you continue to have pain. And then this pain can become chronic. And you have that pain signal. So most of us who I've talked to you have some kind of pain. So we know what that pain is. And to share, I wake up every morning with pain in my back and my legs every morning. And every morning I go and I do the melt, and it helps to relieve the pain. And I'm old. What can I say? Hydration of our connective tissues is vital in order to live pain-free. So the fascial tissue comes first, then the joints, the muscles, the bones. Now, the extensibility is just kind of, I talked about it, that it doesn't stretch, but it's the shock absorber. And again, it must stay hydrated. So I took this information from my training manual, not word for word, but I'd like to give the reference to my training manual.